This is the Investor Connect podcast program. I'm Hall T. Martin. I'm the host of this show in which we interview angel investors, venture capital, family offices, private equity, and many other investors for early stage and growth companies. I hope you enjoy this episode. Investor Connect is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors and startups for fundraising. Please consider donating $100 to the program to help others in their investor and entrepreneur journey. You can find the donate button on the investorconnect.org website. Well, hello, this is Hall Martin with Investor Connect. Today I'm here with James Wagoner, CEO at Joule Case. Joule Case is a portable power station that replaces gas generators and provides power wherever the power grid is unavailable or unreliable. James, thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here. Thank you, Hall.
Great. So where are you calling from today?
Calling from Seattle, Washington.
Cool. Well, great. So tell us more about your background. What did you do before Joule Case?
So most recently, I was at Fluke as an engineering manager. Prior to that, I had started R2EV with Alex Livingston, so my co-founder of Joule Case. I'm a mechanical engineer, a professional engineer, and really have been in the application, consumer-focused side of battery packaging, battery design since 2007, along with Alex in various different forms. But within Joule Case, we've been on this journey since 2015, understanding that the future is battery systems, but you're going to have the right form factor, the right accessibility for that. And it's been really exciting and tremendous to have the investor response, the customer response, as the general population starts to feel the need and understand the need for clean, quiet, reliable power.
Well, tell us more about starting a business in the area of energy. What is it like today?
Now's the time. I really equate this transition that we're undergoing right now to clean energy. It's very similar to, kind of the Web 1.0 in the 1990s. And there's a lot of analogies where, suddenly your life is now digital. Well, suddenly our energy life, how we generate and consume energy, where that energy is going and how that's allocated is really changing. And then so this transition to clean energy is going to affect everyone's life. It's going to make our planet more resilient, more sustainable. It's going to increase the health and safety of everyone that's involved with this. And then so, there's a understanding that this is what's needed. There's a familiarity to battery systems that maybe wasn't there in 2015 or so. And so it's a very exciting time for a Joule Case as more and more customers find us, as more customers kind of use our products for some really exciting applications of what they need.
So what is the challenge in starting a business in today's market?
Well, coming out of COVID, of course, right? And then so Joule Case, was able to survive COVID and be resilient as we lost that event market space that we had been focused on since 2015. And suddenly, your whole go-to-market and all your customers are at zero. And then being able to kind of pivot and change like we did, and ultimately doubling our sales in 2020 compared to 2019 because of that resiliency need that came out of COVID. And then so right now you still have a lot of uncertainty. What's going to happen with COVID? What's going to happen within the broader market? You have larger macro market conditions that might be just a little uncertain. Within hiring, finding the right team. If you have a very exciting startup, I think now is a really tremendous time to find incredibly talented individuals that are looking for something new and fun and innovative. If you're trying to capture something that I think really is the future, which is an ESG startup or an impact-focused startup that has some sort of positive effect. If you have something like that, you can really find some people that might be interested in joining a startup that wouldn't be there to begin with. So it's a very exciting time. It's a very uncertain time, and with that uncertainty, there's a lot of opportunity.
And so, what is the potential reward? How fast is this space growing?
I think starting a career in clean energy and impact-focused technologies, whether it's solar, resiliency, getting rid of fossil fuels, now is just the start. So going back to that analogy, right? I mean, imagine if you were the software developer number 5 at Apple or Microsoft, right? I mean, I really think that that type of analogy is where we're at right now. So, if you get into this impact, clean tech, ESG focus, it's just the start of it. You think that, it's been on the radar for a while, but it really hasn't gotten the legs that it's gotten now. And the federal incentives that are out there, the corporate mandates, someone like Amazon saying that they're going to be 100% renewable by 2030, whether it's, Microsoft, all of them are coming up with those mandates as well. So now is just the beginning, and the amount of work, the amount of lift that's going to have to be done in order to achieve these mandates that have been publicly stated is incredible. So if you're interested in having an impact and making the world a better place, time to plunge in.
That's great. So tell us more about your company and what are the differences between you and your competitors?
So I think the Joule Case is really well defined in, by the statement that we're the standard oil of the green revolution. We're the standard form factor to solve for all of your energy needs. Our customers are anything from a small tailgate or campsite to home backup to food trucks to entire music festivals to entire facilities. And then so that type of imagination and focus is something that's a really big idea. And there's a lot of very discrete, complicated battery systems that are, fine-tuned for one very specific application. And, that's fine. But then, that means that within your energy life, from home backup to camping, to the tailgate or whatever, right? All of this suddenly requires different battery systems. So, what Joule Case has been doing is imagining this future I just described and then building the technology to allow this to happen. And now our customers are using this, right? And it does fit the myriad of different customers I'm just listing. And this is just the beginning. So the marketplace for Joule Case is massive. We have the potential to transcend a individual market. This allowed us to survive events going away. And this really points to a massive opportunity for Joule Case.
Well, great. Well, what is one thing your business did that you didn't expect?
I think just surviving your event going away, right? I mean, in the beginning of 2020, I remember thinking that, that this is going to be a significant year for Joule Case, a make or break year in our beachhead market, which was events. And really thinking, man, gosh, we really need to dial these events in. We got to be successful. And if you were to tell me in January that by, March, all of our customers were gone, I would have said that, Joule Case is not around anymore. So kudos to the entire Joule Case team that have been through thick and thin, that have allowed to pivot, be flexible and grow, find new customers, further create and develop this brand and this product that we're describing. It's awe-inspiring. It drives me every day to wake up and perform for the broader team, for all of the investors that put their trust in us, for all the customers that keep coming back to us. It's just really tremendous.
So what advice would you give to someone entering the space today?
I think the opportunities I just described in a clean tech ESG space are tremendous. So choose your path, get in. You don't necessarily have to be an expert, but just to really kind of, start learning everything you can within the space, invest in the space. It will take some time to see the fruits of your efforts, right? To be able to, maybe land that first job, or as you launch an impact startup, it's, it takes a while for sure. But as I always like to tell everyone, the only person that can tell you when you're done or when to give it up is you. Not one customer, not one investor conversation should deter you one way or another. But as long as you are in it and you want to keep pursuing it, then guess what? That's what you're doing. And then so take that step one step at a time, be patient and be determined.
Great. So what online information source do you find most helpful in your work?
Online, I really like LinkedIn just to connect with other, customers, investors, mentors. I really use it a lot, just share what I have going on and to benchmark other people. I learn a lot through just, sitting down and talking with someone and relating to their story. And I think, the best way to learn is to, take that person that's most successful in what you want to do, really study what they're doing and emulate what they have going on. And suddenly you will at least be able to achieve some level of success just by emulating that. And so something like, LinkedIn, of course, is a major benefit. But, within that, make sure you develop those mentors. At the same time, mentor people as well. It can be tremendously valuable as you reciprocate what's been given to you.
Great. Well, in the last few minutes that we have here, what else should we cover that we haven't?
Well, I'm excited about the the investor traction within Joule Case. We just reached over $1 million on a refunder campaign, and that's in addition to a lot of really good funding on a parallel, private traditional Reg D as well. So, for everyone listening to this podcast, check out wefunder.com/Joule Case. It's got all of our company materials, all of that investment materials in there as well. So you can kind of see what we're up to, the technology, the patents, the team that we have. There's 700 investors now, over 700 on there. You can see what they're saying. All of the questions are like that. It's a really great platform to very quickly get up to speed on what Joule Case is doing and see if, Joule Case and investment is right for you. And then, from there, get in touch with Joule Case. If you have any questions or like that, there's several different ways to engage the broader Joule Case team as well.
So how best for listeners to get back in touch with you?
So like I just said, my favorite website is LinkedIn. Find me on there, connect with me, get a chat going. I'm happy to speak with anyone and learn from people that are reaching out, and then vice versa. Hopefully I can be of assistance to you as well.
Great. We'll put that in the show notes. I want to thank you for joining us today and hope to have you back for a follow-up soon. Investor Connect helps investors interested in startup funding. In this podcast series, experienced investors share their experience and advice. You can learn more at investorconnect.org. Halty Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.